Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're exploring something that's really starting to shake up how big businesses work. We're talking about AI moving way beyond, simple chatbots and into really intelligent automation. It feels like it's poised to transform pretty much every industry, but maybe especially the really complex, regulated ones. And when you think about who's doing AI at serious scale, well, BlackRock definitely comes to mind.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we're talking about a financial giant here. They manage over $11 trillion in assets. That number is just staggering.
11 trillion. Yeah, it kind of puts the stakes into perspective, doesn't it? When they make tech changes, it's a big deal.
Exactly. The stakes are incredibly high. They aren't just like dipping their toes in AI, they're embedding it deep within their core operations. Really foundational stuff.
Okay, so that's our mission for this deep dive then. We want to peel back the layers on their own system, Aladdin, and this newer thing, Aladdin Copilot. We'll try to understand how this agentic AI they're using boosts efficiency, helps with investment results, and maybe even makes things more personal for the finance pros using it. And yeah, we'll get into the tech behind it, the architecture of the processes. Should be interesting. Let's jump in.
So to really get it, you have to start with Aladdin itself. It's more than just software. It's BlackRock's foundational tech system. Think of it like the central nervous system for their entire investment process. End to end, it unifies everything. Portfolio building, risk analysis, you name it.
And it's crucial to understand this isn't just for BlackRock's internal teams, is it? It's bigger than that.
That's exactly right. BlackRock is the biggest user, for sure, but Aladdin supports a whole range of markets, public, private. It serves institutional clients, retail investors too. Plus, it provides these really robust tools for risk management and analysis to literally hundreds of clients. I think it's in over 70 countries now. And the team behind it, it's huge. Around 7,000 people in the Aladdin organization, and get this, more than 4,000 of them are engineers.
4,000 engineers. Wow.
Yeah.
Just maintaining and building that. That's an ecosystem in itself.
It really is. They're constantly working on over 100 different front-end applications that thousands of professionals use every single day.
Okay, so you have this massive, complex, established system. How do you weave AI into that? It has to be more than just, making things a bit quicker.
Oh, much more. That's where Aladdin Copilot enters the picture. You can think of it as this intelligent layer, almost like connective tissue that sits across all those Aladdin apps. It's designed to be proactive. So it surfaces information before you ask, it enhances workflows, makes things smoother. Ultimately, it helps investment pros make faster, more informed decisions. And BlackRock is super clear about what they want AI to achieve here. They've targeted 3 key business outcomes for this enterprise AI push.
3 specific outcomes. Okay, what are they?
Right. First, boost user productivity. Streamline tasks, empower people using the system, make their lives easier, basically. Second, enable what they call alpha generation. Fancy finance term, but it just means driving better investment results, beating the benchmark. And third, provide a much more personalized user experience, tailoring the platform to what each individual user actually needs. This really shows how AI can change the game in enterprise settings.
Productivity, better results, personalization. Yeah, those make a lot of sense. Pretty fundamental wins for any company using AI, I'd imagine. But how do those big goals translate into the guiding principles for actually building Copilot? What are they really optimizing for day to day?
Good question. They've broken it down into 3 core value drivers for Copilot, things that directly link back to business value and efficiency. The first one is, and I like this framing, make every user an Aladdin expert.
Make everyone an expert.
How?
By simplifying things.
Exactly. Simplify the complex stuff, make the whole platform more intuitive. They want to flatten that learning curve, so you don't need months to get up to speed. The AI guides you, suggests things, gives you context. So even if you're newer, Copilot helps you navigate it like you've been using it for years.
Okay. Democratizing expertise. Makes sense. What's the second principle?
Second is personalize the platform. Deliver experiences that are configurable, customized, unlock new efficiencies that are specific to you and your role. Imagine the platform just kind of adapting to how you work, showing you what's most relevant without you needing to manually set everything up.
That sounds pretty powerful. And the third driver?
Third is democratize access to insights.
Yeah.
Basically, make it way easier for everyone using the platform to find the right data, the right insights right when they need them. No more digging through endless menus or trying to figure out complex queries. It empowers more people to be data-driven. But, this begs the question, right? How on earth do you build an AI smart enough to handle all that? All those apps, all that data?
Ah, yes. The how. This is where we get into the engine room, right? This agentic architecture that powers Aladdin Copilot. It sounds like it's definitely not just plugging in one big AI model.
Yeah.
It sounds, well, more sophisticated.
It really is. This agentic architecture, it's designed specifically to scale, to handle all those different complex Aladdin applications and the absolutely vast data sets involved. Think of it like a central coordinator, a brain that can intelligently manage and direct a whole network of specialized tools or agents. Each one is an expert in its own little domain within Aladdin.
A network of specialized tools.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you mentioned earlier there are like 50 or 60 different engineering teams working on Aladdin. Trading, risk, compliance, all separate domains. How do you get all their tools to play nicely together within Copilot? That sounds like a recipe for an integration nightmare.
It could be. But they have a pretty clever solution, a plug-in registry. This registry is key. It basically provides a standard way for all those specialized engineering teams to onboard their tools, their agents, into Copilot's AI orchestration system. It enables that seamless collaboration. Teams can do this in a couple of ways. They can either map their tool to existing Aladdin APIs, or for more complex stuff, they can build custom agents. It's pragmatic, it scales.
And are they looking outside their own walls for this? Are they considering, like, industry standards for how these agents talk to each other?
They are, yeah. Initially, they built their own communication protocol for this agent framework, but now they're actively looking at and evaluating open standards. Things like LangChain's agent protocol are on their radar, which, shows they're thinking ahead about interoperability and not just locking themselves into proprietary tech. It's quite forward-thinking for enterprise AI.
Okay, that gives us a clearer picture of the architecture, the plug-in registry, the agents. But let's make it concrete. For everyone listening, trying to imagine this in action, maybe walk us through what happens when a user asks a simple question. This is where the AI really has to prove itself, right?
Definitely. Let's take a typical user query. Imagine someone asks Copilot, maybe types it in or says it, "What is my exposure to aerospace in Portfolio 1?" Seems simple enough.
Okay, simple question. What's the very first thing Copilot does?
First step, context awareness. Super important. Copilot immediately grabs a whole bunch of context. What application is the user in? What's on their screen right now? Are there specific portfolios or assets visible? What are their general preferences? All that gets captured.
Right, because exposure could mean different things depending on where you are on the platform.
Yeah.
Okay, context captured. What's next? Security must be a big concern.
Huge. So next, the query hits what they call input guardrails. These are built using LangChain, actually. Their job is to filter out anything problematic before it goes deeper. Irrelevant stuff, toxic language, sensitive data like PII, personally identifiable information. Got to keep that out. It's a critical first line of defense.
Makes sense. Clean the input first.
Yeah.
Now, how does it figure out which of those, potentially thousands of tools or agents in the registry needs to answer the aerospace question?
That's the filtering and access control stage. It takes that huge list of possible tools and agents and narrows it down fast, usually down to maybe 20 or 30 relevant ones. This filtering uses the context we just talked about, the app, the screen, but also, critically, the user's permissions. You only get tools you're allowed to use.
Ah, so it's efficient and secure.
It's smart.
Okay, now we have the relevant tools. This must be where the real AI thinking happens, the orchestration part.
Exactly. This is the core intelligence, orchestration and planning. Copilot uses GPT-4's function calling capability here. It doesn't just pick one tool, it plans. It figures out the sequence of actions needed. Which tool should run first? What information does the next tool need from the previous one? It iteratively plans and executes these steps.
So it's like dynamically building a little workflow on the fly to answer the specific question.
Precisely. It carefully selects the right tools from that filtered set and figures out the best way to combine their outputs to get an accurate answer.
Okay, it's got a plan, it's executed it. Before it shows the answer to the user, is there a final check? You hear a lot about AI making things up. Hallucinations.
Yep, final step. Output guardrails, another safety net. These checks are specifically designed to catch and reduce potential hallucinations. They want to ensure the final answer is accurate, reliable, absolutely vital in finance, where a wrong number could have massive consequences.
Absolutely. And then finally, the user gets their answer. Nice and simple. Something like, your exposure to aerospace and defense in Portfolio 1 is 5%. Seamless for the user, but wow, there's a whole sophisticated process humming away underneath.
And that whole process brings us right back to something fundamental for any business leader thinking about enterprise AI. Trust. You have to be able to trust the system.
Pedro Vicente Valdez, he's one of BlackRock's principal AI engineers, really stressed this. He said evaluation-driven development is just essential, critical for reliability at the kind of scale BlackRock operates at. You can't just build these things and hope they work. You have to constantly prove they work and that they're getting better. Trust is everything, especially in finance, right? It's non-negotiable. So, on that note, why are they currently using supervised AI agents, not fully autonomous ones talking to each other? Seems like a deliberate choice.
It is. It's a very deliberate and, I think, insightful decision for where enterprise AI is right now. Focusing on supervised agents where there's more human oversight and control in the loop, rather than fully autonomous agent-to-agent chats, gives them several big advantages. It means faster development cycles, it makes testing much easier, and crucially, it gives them more control, which is paramount.
So it's like a practical stepping stone. Get the benefits now while maintaining control, maybe move towards more autonomy later.
Exactly. Full autonomy might be the eventual vision, maybe, but supervised agents are the practical, lower-risk way to get there today. It lets them iterate quickly, build value, but keep those ironclad governance controls needed in regulated fields. It's a smart balance for an enterprise.
That makes a ton of sense, especially for building confidence internally and with clients. So what does this rigorous testing actually look like? How do they build that confidence?
Oh, it's extensive. Take system prompts, for example. They might have a core rule baked in, like, you must never provide investment advice. Simple rule, right? But they need to prove, with high statistical confidence, that Copilot always follows that rule. No exceptions.
How do they test that? You can't just ask it a few times.
No way.
Yeah.
They generate lots of synthetic test data specifically designed to trick it. They have human subject matter experts review tons of examples. They build automated testing pipelines. They even use other powerful AI models, LLMs, as sort of impartial judges to validate the responses at scale. And these tests aren't just run once, they run daily. They run with every single code change as part of their standard CI/CD pipeline, continuous integration, continuous deployment. It's constant vigilance.
Wow. Baked right into the development process. Constant validation. What about more complex stuff, like how the different agents interact or remembering context over a conversation?
Yep, they test that rigorously too. It's called end-to-end testing of agent interactions. They check everything. Does the AI fill out API parameters correctly? Do agents pass information between each other accurately? How does it handle conversations that go back and forth over several turns? Does it respect the application context, remembering which portfolio you're looking at, your settings, widgets on the screen? Developers set up specific test scenarios for each plugin, provide the correct answers, and run these tests constantly to catch any regressions.
That level of detail. It's what decision makers need to hear, isn't it? Especially if they're considering AI for their own critical operations. Why is this evaluation-driven approach so vital for enterprise AI?
It's foundational, really, for a few key reasons. First, it stops the system from slowly degrading as new code gets added, keeps quality high. Second, it gives you hard statistical evidence that the system is actually improving. That's crucial for showing value, proving ROI. Third, if something does break, if a regression slips in, this testing helps engineers find and fix it super quickly, minimizes errors, minimizes downtime, and maybe most importantly for any business adopting AI. It's what ensures you can reliably deliver scalable, production-grade AI to your users or clients, knowing it's accurate and compliant.
So that continuous evaluation loop is really the secret sauce for building and maintaining trust at scale.
I think so. And that quote from Pedro Vicente Valdez sums it up perfectly. The biggest lesson is that having this kind of end-to-end evaluation baked into your CI/CD pipeline is what allows you to confidently improve the system. Confidence comes from proof.
What a fascinating look under the hood. It really feels like we've journeyed into the heart of how serious enterprise AI automation is being built today.
Yeah, to quickly recap, BlackRock's Aladdin Copilot, it's a prime example of agentic AI already making a difference for thousands of finance professionals. Its success really hinges on that strong agentic architecture, the flexible plug-in system, and maybe above all, that relentless commitment to evaluation-driven development. That's what gives them enterprise-grade reliability, accuracy, and compliance.
So for all of you listening, whether you're deep into AI, managing teams, or making strategic decisions, think about the ripples from this. What could BlackRock's blueprint, this focus on precision, efficiency, and just hardcore validation, mean for your business? Could it unlock similar AI opportunities in your industry?
It's a powerful model.
Yeah. And maybe a final thought to chew on. If a system built for the sheer scale and complexity of global finance can reach this level of accuracy and controlled autonomy,
Yeah.
what could this agentic AI model, paired with that meticulous evaluation, unlock for your unique challenges? What new possibilities open up if you build that trust in AI from day one?
Definitely something to think about.
Thank you for joining us on a deep dive. Until next time.